kommer det inte.
Det ligger ute på turen nu.
Nu är det ute.
Hello and welcome to this Alexanderson Day, the 4th of July, at the World Heritage Grimeton radio station. We are happy to welcome our audience here in the transmission hall. We are here to try to start up the transmitter SAQ, and we are all members of the Alexander Grimeton Friendship Association. My name is Börjesson, and I will operate the alternator today together with my team. On my right side I have our radio operator Sundberg, and then we have my operator Jan-Åke Gylling, our mentor and former chairman Jan Steinbach, who will make sure that we can get the machine running. On my left side, I have Törblad, assistant today, and on his left side, I have Fredrik, Wiklund, assistant today, and chairman of the association. I will start with a brief orientation of the facility. Everything which is painted in black belongs to the alternator. Down here we have the auxiliary machines, pumps, resistors, etc. Up here we have the relay corridor where the more signal gets into the machine. Up here we have the control panel from where we start up control and choose the transmitter. There we have the great transmission unit where the radio waves are generated. And behind that we have the antenna modulator with the magnetic amplifier where the radio waves are amplified before going out on the antenna. We have done some preparations in advance. We have controlled all the machines, they are running well. The antenna is connected to the antenna modulator. We have turned on a Scott-connected transformer outside on the field. This transformer converts 50 kilovolts three-phase voltage to 2.3 kilovolts two-phase into this station. The great motor in the transmission unit is a 500 horsepower asynchronous motor driven by that voltage 2.3 kilovolts. The motor is driving the rotor in the alternator via gearbox. And when the main motor reaches its operating speed, 711.3 revolutions per minute, the rotor will rotate with over 2,100 revolutions per minute and give a frequency of 17.2 kilohertz out into the antenna. The motor speed is directly related to the frequency, so mainly all of the equipment you see here are they are aimed to control the motor speed. Now we are prepared to start up and tune the alternator. And Jan-Åke is going to the emergency stop because we are handling high voltage. We are going to send the message at 14 o'clock Central European summertime. With this oil switch, I connect a transformer which converts 2.3 kilovolts two-phase to 440 volt three-phase, which is needed for the auxiliary machines. Then you can hear an alarm bell ringing. It's because we have no oil or water pressure. So Jan-Åke will turn off the alarm bell temporarily, and we are going down to start the cooling system. Okay, we have two pumps in the system. We are using pump number 1. It's a regulated centrifugal pump. And Jan-Åke will fill it up with city water. And he also opens a drainage pipe to get rid of the air in the pump house. When it's filled up, he will start the pump motor with a YD coupler. And now he is opening a pressure valve to get cooling water out to the resistors and to the transmission unit. It's the hard work of today because he has to turn the valve 25 turns against the water pressure. The water pressure is slowly rising, which you can see on the manometer on the wall. Okay, the cooling system is running, and we are passing two variable liquid resistor on the way back, and Jan-Åke will check the liquid level. It gets hot, especially in the summertime, and some of the water evaporates. So sometimes we have to add a little. There are two liquid resistors, one start resistor and one control resistor. The start resistor is limiting the initial current to the main motor, and the control resistor holds the motor speed constant when we are operating the Morse key. They are both connected to the main motor, but in different ways. Now we are at the relay corridor, and here Jan-Åke will start the pumps, circulating pumps in the resistors. He wears a pair of protective gloves because here we have 440 volts on open contacts. The facility is built according to the safety standards in the 1920s. These wooden pieces will be released and fall down when we start the main motor. So these are the modern technique of the 1920s. Now we are back at the control panel and we add the alarm bell again. We have an alarm because we have no oil pressure in the system, and to solve that we start an auxiliary oil pump. Now that provides oil pressure to the alternator bearings and to the gearbox. Now we are prepared to start the transmission unit, and Jan-Åke is back on the emergency stop. To protect the main motor, the initial current is limited by transductors on line with the power supply, and we also have high resistance on the rotor. Now the motor is running, slowly start to rotate because we are having high masses to be started up. Only the rotor in the alternator weighs about 1,500 kilograms. The start up current in the motor is about 250 amps, which we can see on the ammeter on the top of the panel here. We are now waiting for the internal oil pump in the transmission unit to handle the lubrication, and we can stop the auxiliary oil pump. We are also waiting for the motor to rev up and that the motor current will go down to 100 amps. Then we will go on and start two rectifiers, rotating converters, one which gives 125 and 250 volt DC, and the other gives 500 volt DC. This voltage is needed to control the transmitter. Now we have about 130 amps, so we are still waiting to start up the rectifiers. Okay. You can turn on the rectifiers now. Yes, both. Yeah. Then now Jan-Åke is going to the other side of the panel and close a switch with 500 volt DC to the transductors, so they can give full voltage to the motor, 2.3 kilovolts. At 700 revolutions per minute, he close next knife 250 volt to magnetize the generator. They also started a control system with feedback, which controls the motor speed automatically. We can see on the gauge here that the automatic speed control system is working. Here on top of the panel we have an instrument, and I can see we have 17,195 hertz on the generator. Our goal is 7.2 kilohertz. Good luck. I think you shall, we are satisfied, and we let it stabilize there. You can go and put on the big fan. So Jan-Åke now is turning on a cooling fan, which is it's used to cool and blow out sparks on the contactors that is in the relay corridor there. They are a part of the speed control system, and one of them works in line with the Morse key to maintain the motor speed. Now, now we have to control the frequency, and it has been a little lower, so Now we are using the start resistor to tune the frequency. It's a pity you can't see, perhaps you can see it on the... I think just now we have 17.18 kilohertz, and I think we should be satisfied. And we will switch on the antenna knife and get the transmitter connected to the antenna. Now you can use the test of... we wait a little here to get it up at 17.18. Okay, try the test key. With the test key we can control that everything is ready for keying the transmitter. Men du, när du kör ändå där, så kan du se vad har du för spänning och frekvens samtidigt. Om du kör där och kollar där samtidigt, det som det gör det. Okay. Now you turn the key switch to the operator's table and go out. Yeah. And then we start the paper reader. The paper reader converts characters on the paper tape to Morse characters, and it will be VVV. VVV in Morse means hello, hello. Means here, hello from in French. And SAQ is this transmitter's call sign. this station in the whole world that have just call sign. Better. Okay. As we are going out on the antenna, we'll go back and work a little with the control resistor. So the frequency will be constant when they key the transmitter. And then we also are using a antenna tuning coil to maximize the power out on the antenna. Vi lämnar den. Ska vi lämna den? Okay. Just now we are satisfied with the frequency, and we have about 60 amps out on the antenna. It is always a little tricky to get all these parameters to work together. The frequency, the motor voltage, and the current out on the antenna. Där stannar det, va? Ja, då låter vi det vara så här. Men då blir det kyrk nu. Det blir kyrk i sändningen. Okej. Bara. Vad sa du? Ja. The desired frequency is 17,200 hertz, and we are 15 hertz from the desired. So, okay. Do you think it's good enough? Okay, now we have about 10 minutes left before Kai will start the transmission of the message. We send out messages 2 to 3 times a year. All transmissions are announced on our website ahead of time. We are also sending emails to about 2,000 subscribers. Last Alexanderson day, after the transmission, we had over 600 reports from all over the world. Fantastic. They report using an online form on our website, and the reports contain information of how well they have heard our signals. And then we send them EQSL card to confirm that they have had this contact with us. We are very grateful for all these reports. They are a great value for us. We know that then that there are people there are people that are listening to us, and we know in which direction and how far our signal has reached. As I said before, we have reports from near all over the world. Of course, most comes from Europe, but USA, Alaska, Australia, amazing, I think. We are sending different messages. For example, on Alexanderson Day, we usually pay attention to a story in the radio field that happened for 100 years ago. But on this day, we are celebrating the 25th anniversary. Yeah, nice. Of the foundation of the Alexander Association. So you will see. On the UN Day, we send a message of peace. On Christmas Eve, we send wishes of Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And on the Christmas Eve, we have open house here at the station, and usually it comes about 100 visitors who want to start the celebration of Christmas together with us. Some of those who respond to our transmission says it's important to hear Grimeton as an introduction to the Christmas celebration. Others says they express great gratitude that we want to keep the machine running. I think that we now have about how many minutes left? 5 minutes left before we are sending the transmission. We can state that the frequency is constant and the antenna power is okay. It's about 65. How much? 70. What? 65. Okay. I don't tell you a lie if you don't say 65. This message loop, the radio enthusiast can use to tune in their receivers. And of course we hope that there are many listeners. We just got a report from Alabama. It's straight over there, not via the whole way around the world. So we will switch off the paper reader and prepare for the Morse key. Va?
Jag föreslår att vi inte behöver köra ner maskinen nu, utan direkt när han har sänt sitt meddelande. Vi provar att ändra frekvensen.
Ja, just det, lite grann, ja. Ja. Okej. Då stänger switch off. Så, ja. Är det okej? Har du preparat? Ja, vi väntar då. Vi väntar lite grann. Ska vi slå över på listan? Nu gör ni det. Okej, thank you Kai. That was the message from us here at Grimeton radio station this Alexanderson day. The day that we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the foundation of the Alexander Association and the nomination of the Grimeton radio station as a listed building. I think you have read the message on the picture. Otherwise, you can read the complete message again on our website. They are going to control the transmitter a little. We had some problem to get the right frequency. So the turn down on the machinery will take a little longer time. We have to wait a little. In the meantime, I can tell you a little about our association. It was formed in 1996. Okay. Mainly due to a threat of demolition of this building and an old transmitter from 1924 that was still functioning. Those who formed the association was mainly former employees, but also people, local people who had interest in the facility. They wanted to form a lobby association, so the nice environments and transmitter would be preserved for the future. And they really did a fine job. Already in 1996, the building here was nominated as National Building, as we heard. And the next year, in 1997, it was nominated as the whole site was nominated for industrial heritage. And that was 2 steps towards the World Heritage, which they managed in 2004. So it has been included on the UNESCO's World Heritage list since that. Visitors are very welcome to visit us here, to look at the transmitter and the amazing environments. And here is also a service center and an exhibition, playground, and several other activities. The Alexander Grimeton Friendship Association is working together with World Heritage, and we today have about 650 members. Our main task is to keep the old transmitter in running condition. Because of that, we work with maintenance and documentation of the transmitter. We also hold technical training. We are training new operators, and we help with tours and starting up the alternator. By that, I will thank you all for listening and watching our transmission this special Alexander Day. And we hope that you enjoyed our startup of the alternator and the transmission. and that you have heard our Morse coded message well. And I will thank my team for a good job and for a nice day here. Of course, we wish that we have had many watchers and listeners all over the world. And to all we say, don't hesitate, send us QSL. Thank you.